And with that, let's now shift focus over to the UK, which is facing the worst disorder it has seen in more than a decade. What began as a community's grief over the tragic loss of 3 young girls has spiraled into nationwide chaos, with far-right groups using the moment to incite anti-immigration and anti-Muslim violence. Remember, protests first broke out late last month after an anti-immigration misinformation campaign also stoked outrage over a stabbing attack that left 3 children dead in Southport. Sanjay Suri brings you a report.
Certainly, Akamisha, all this rioting that we've seen is not grief over those 3 little girls, but that became the trigger for the eruption of a lot of anger that had been boiling under the surface against migrants and against immigration. And in fact, we've seen signs of that in the election results itself. 4 million votes for the Reform Party, a party that came from nowhere and a party that exists in its opposition to migrants. It would even seem, in fact, that much of the vote against the Conservatives under Rishi Sunak was a vote against a leadership of the party where the leader is of immigrant origin. In fact, a senior professor of the London School of Economics suggests to us that as much as 20% of that vote could have had racist overtones. That would be a lot. So beneath this apparent swing to the left under Labour, not that Labour is very left, we really have seen Britain moving to the right in line with much of the rest of Europe. And of course, once this rioting erupted, it's very difficult to contain. The police don't have the equipment, they don't have the sanction. There are no water cannons to use, no tear gas. Those are considered blunt instruments. And then, of course, if protester attacks a police officer, that's business as usual. Were it to happen the other way around, hell would break loose. So we really now have a position where the government is trying to clamp down on this by severe sentencing and by setting up what Keir Starmer calls a standing army, really a British answer to the CRPF to deal with such situations. That would be a hammer blow on top of these rioting and the violence, but really the subterranean anger hasn't gone away. It's almost certain to erupt again.
And that's all I have for you in this edition of World 360. Thank you so much for watching. News and updates continue on CNN News 18. Stay tuned.